Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining Al Thomas, All Things Business. Boy, have I got a good one for you today. Sit back, relax, get your pen out, your notepad, take notes on this tonight. Matter of fact, you might want to text a couple people that you want to get on here to make sure they get on here. Tonight, I subtitled the call tonight, what keeps poor people poor? I'm going to say again, what keep poor people poor? And why are poor people poor? And there's a couple characteristics we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight I'm in Miami. Tomorrow I'll be over at the Trump place having lunch. Yeah, figure that one out. But what keeps poor people poor? Who are they associating with? So I'm going to go through six of them. Number one, the first thing we'll talk about is their habits. Their habits. And before we get going, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, all Al Thomas official, please subscribe and also hit the like button below. Leave a comment, please. I always like to read the comments. So tonight, we're going to talk about what keeps poor people poor. The first thing we'll talk about is their habits. Their habits. Their habits are what? What are the habits that keeps them poor? Number one habit, when they get off at 5 o'clock, they come home and they watch TV, all the latest series of this, series that, or they binge watch this, that, and the other thing. Watch Survival, get on HBO, watch a series that doesn't make any money. And they buy, they do things that other people on the other side of the coin. What does wealthier people do? They take their time and they continue learning. The opposite is what? We keep learning, we keep learning, we keep learning, we keep learning. For me, learning was learning Espanol. Now I'm down in Doral today, part of Miami, which is all Spanish from Venezuela, and they're also from Cuba and then everybody here speaks Spanish. So I dive myself into a language I want to learn because I want to keep abreast of what's going on in life. Podcasts I'll talk about later. I want to know things that's going to help me progress in my life. Okay. So what keeps poor people poor? They buy the latest and greatest cars. Every year or two, they got to trade and get a new one. They got to trade and get a new one. I just did a video the other day of the difference in car lots and cars and how they make money. Do you realize that most car lots, there's three income streams from car lots that people don't understand. And if you look around wealthy people, they don't drive the latest and greatest car. Most of our cars are 3, 4, 5 years old. The one I'm driving now is actually, let's see, so 2004. What is it? 21 years old? Paid for, been paid for. Got no car notes. But why do most people who are broke get the latest every 2 or 3 years? They trade their car and got to get the latest and greatest. Let me explain something to you. Car lots. There are three income sources that car lots make. Do you know what number one thing, how the car lot makes money? Write it down. What do you think it is? No. No, I did a video and it'll be coming out about this. I'm going to do a whole video on this. The number one way car lots make money is from the service department. Let me say it again. The service department. Have you noticed the service department is always busy? Let me tell you about the service department. Most of the parts they buy wholesale. They turn around and mark them up to us 200 to 300%. Let me say it again. They mark it up 200 to 300%. And guess what? We pay for it. And then they charge you on the labor. You realize they have a book for what they charge you for labor? Let's say taking out an air conditioner. It might be 4 hours labor. That's what the book says. But it may take them an hour and a half to do the work, but they charge you for the 4 hours. So they make money on the labor, they make money on the parts. So when you get a bill for $1,500, $1,700 for something that actually costs $100 in parts, maybe $150 in labor, you can see why that's a big generating opportunity for most car lots. Servicing, number one. If you ever, and as you look around town, think about it, how many different, as you drive down streets tomorrow, look around and see how many repair shops there are. And you wonder why. There's so much markup in repair work. Number one source for car lots is servicing. Number two income stream is financing. The finance manager, I used to live next door to a finance manager when I lived in a gated community up in Red Rock. And the guy next door was making, she was making 15 to 20 grand a month just as financing manager, financing cars. And what they do with the cars, they'll pull your credit, 580 or better, or bad credit. They'll find a lender to go into one of those categories. So they make a lot of money financially. They may cost them 8% or 6% for the money. They charge you 10 or 12% or more than that depending upon your credit. So they make money on money that they don't even have on existence of it. Most smart car lots, what they'll do, they'll carry their own paper. For example, a car costs 15,000, and guess what happens? They'll ask for $1,500 up front or 2,000, which they get the original amount back, and they use the rest of it, charge interest on their profit, and they go do the same thing over and over and over again. But that's another way. The last way they make money is selling a car. So understand that's what keep most poor people poor, because they keep buying the latest and greatest thing. A year and a half ago, you couldn't get a car in the United States. Why? People were selling 40, 20, 60,000 over a book, and now they're giving them away. Why? Because now people found out they're upside down. We'll talk about that some other time. So car lots, buying clothes is another thing to keep people poor. They got to have the latest and greatest. You know, I see people and I can look at a person, oh, Louis Vuitton, is that a real one or is that a knockoff? Isn't it amazing how we'll go buy the knockoff to look like we're wealthy, but it's, it's tearing apart at the handle or the seams or whatever, or it's not even lined up correctly. And if you had a couple of them, you'll know the difference. So we spend a lot of money on clothes, and we don't know how to make money. This is what keeps the average person poor. Now, on the flip side, what does a wealthy person do? We'll drive a car that's a couple years old. We don't care about all the fashion stuff or having somebody else's label on our body. We don't care. Okay, so that's a major thing that I see to keep most people. They got to have the latest and greatest. You know, when I pull up to an apartment building, I was looking at buying recently, and I noticed a guy had a Mercedes underneath the a Mercedes in an apartment building. Boy, does he have his priorities mixed up. Anyway, let's move on to number two. Number two is why they don't know how to create money. They don't know how to create money. Now, I'm going to talk about a job, and there's nothing wrong with having a job. 95% of the people have a job, and they work from 9 to 5. I understand that. That's great. On the other side, how do wealthy people get wealthy? By owning a business and what they do after 5. Let me say it again. 9 to 5 is what they paid you to do. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. is how you create wealth after the job time. Okay? What does that mean, Mr. Thomas? How can I do that? Well, you got to really want it, first of all. You got to create it. You can start a network marketing business an hour or 2 a day in the evening. You could start any kind of business in the evenings. You can start real estate part-time in the evenings. When I started real estate, I started around my schedule. And here again, it starts with you wanting something more. The second thing to keep most people don't know how to create wealth is because they're afraid of investing in themselves. Most of us were never taught to invest in ourselves. Think about it. Mom and dad, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Go to school, got it. Get a good education, got it. Find a good job. No, there's just good. It's just a job. It's good. But nobody's ever sat down because, unfortunately, our parents, mine included, were not wealthy. That's what my parents taught me. My dad was a sergeant in the military. All my job, dad could tell me, hey, get a good job or join the military. So you got to understand, those are the things that they believe in. They believe in working hard for money. On the flip side of the coin, successful people believe in working smart and not hard. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the 3 billionaires mentors that God gave me at a young age, that I never had to work for a job. I've always created wealth. It's a big difference. Smart people use leverage. Wow. Think about it. If I was actually leverage, let's look at leverage. How many Starbucks in your area? 1 or zillions? Hey, what if you got a quarter on every cup of coffee sold today? Wow, Mr. Thomas. Exactly. CVS, Walgreens. The whole idea, they use leverage, number one. Number two, a word called residual income. Something we do one time and get paid over and over and over and over and over. And who said it was going to be easy? Residual income. Like Bill Gates, I've been getting paid for the last 36 years, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, decade 1, decade 2, decade 3. Why? Because I wanted something to start years ago that will continue paying me. And that's what I want you guys to understand. I was talking to my little son, Danny, today, and we're talking about, a grass and a tree both grows on the same dirt. But why is the tree higher than the grass? It made a decision to grow. Ain't that something? It made a decision to grow. So you have to understand, you can't be afraid to invest. Well, Mr. Thomas, what if I lose? Hey, part of winning is losing, and part of losing is winning. If I can win 80% of the time and lose 20, I'm a winner. But see, The average person who are not successful, they think they got to win 100%, or they keep talking about the one deal that went sour, the one deal that went sour. I love my dad dearly. My dad kept talking about an accident he had 20 years later. I kept, Dad, let it go. That was 20 years ago. As that song by Janet Jackson goes, what have you done for yourself lately? But we hold on to something because it went bad one time. I've lost thousands and millions of dollars. I'm not high, but it's true. But I also made that much. So being willing to invest. Other side of the coin, people who are not successful, they don't understand the power of residual income. They don't understand the power of leverage. They don't understand the power of it. I remember my first network marketing company I got involved with. I was out there blowing and going and talking to people and showing the plan. I call it STP. See the people, show the people, shock the people, like Fred Stanford. And then, as they say in Germany, signs the people. 4-step process. And I was blowing and going and blowing and going. And I remember the girl I was dating. I said, look, I'm going to take you out to dinner when I get the first check. And my first check in network marketing, some 30 some years ago, finally came in. Back those days, they sent a check out. And I opened it up. Matter of fact, I took it, I put it on the fireplace mantle, put the letter opener up there, called her up, hey, I'm going to take you out to Jacques tonight. Jacques? Yeah, we're going to go to Jacques. And I, got all dressed up and looking nice. And, okay, got my hair all curly. The doorbell rang at 7 o'clock. Ding dong. So there she is. Walked over there, opened the door. She came in. Boy, she looked good, smelled good. I said, hey, come over, let me show you something. Went over to the fireplace mantle, gave her the check, gave her the letter opener. She looked down at it. She went, her eyebrows went, I looked over her shoulder. I went, It was $3.90. She said, I guess we're going to go to Jacques tonight. Jacques in a box. But that was way over here. Think about it, my first one. But the power of residual income, way over here later. I thought about looking her up when that thing got over 6 figures. The power of residual income. And most people, the reason why they stay poor, because they have to get paid every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. They're not planning anything else with that job. You got to be willing to put money in to get something out, and then to go to work and make it real. That's amazing. Go to work and make it real. Number two. Let's go to number 3 right now. Number 3. What keeps poor people poor. Number 3, they don't understand passive income. I just kind of went through that. After work, guess what? They're tired. They want to go home, go to sleep, go eat, watch the basketball game, watch football. Coliseums back in the Roman days are still here today. We call them football fields, baseball fields. Isn't that amazing? To entertain the masses, to keep them off track from being successful in what they could do in their life. On the flip side of the coin, wealthy people, they make money in the daytime. Watch this. Most people don't realize we make money in the daytime, but you get wealthy at night. Get wealthy at night? Yeah. From what you do from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. will get you wealthy. What you do in the daytime is what they pay you to do. What you do in the evening is what you massively want to do to create massive income for your family. The poor don't understand passive income is more valuable than wages. Because think about it, we're all taught wages. Lose a job, get another. No, wages will make you a living. Passive income will make you a fortune. Let me say it again. Wages will make you a living, which means pay your bills. We all got to do that. But passive income will make you wealthy beyond your imagined the wildest dreams. Let me put it that way. I can attest to that. So that's what keep people. Think about residual income. Think about your favorite music artist or songwriter. They cut the song one time, and anytime it plays anywhere in the world, they get paid a royalty. And that's what you want to seek out. Hey, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But then again, who are you listening to? Who are you following? What mentors have you have that have done this? Think about it. Yeah, so what? It's going to be hard. Going to work every day is hard. Hey, I don't feel like it. But you go to work every day, you don't feel like it. So what else is new? Get over yourself. But that's what's important. Number 4. Let me go to number 4. I've got 6 of them. I'm going to number 4. You never execute. They never execute on an idea. Excuse me. How many of y'all had ideas out there about this idea, all these ideas, but you never executed? Never. We got an idea. I had an idea 10 years. Oh my God, somebody else did. Oh my God, they stole my idea. No, they didn't steal your idea. They just had the same idea. They just went forward. You can still talking about it. Now they're making millions. Wow. See, thinking, write this down, is a higher level. Higher level is thinking. The most highest level in the world is thinking. All thoughts come through thinking. Wealth is created through thinking. Where you're, the couch you're sitting on, somebody thought about it before you even saw it. Now you're sitting on it. Somebody thought of it here first. Then they want to create the couch or whatever it is. Everything starts with thought. Don't you get it? But see, most people don't understand. How many ideas have you had that you not went through with? Wow. How many? How many? You see, the successful people have ideas too, but the difference is they use the God factor. They start working in that direction. Yes, it's uphill, but they keep going at it every day, put an hour or two at it every day, every day. When I started my network marketing business, I had no clue. I put an hour or two in a day and made so much, and then an hour or two, and then by my third year, I was financially free. But hey, but I had to put it in. The more you do it, the more you learn about it. You know what? Something like reading. The more I read, the more I learn I don't know. You know, you got to put it in. Look at the hourglass. Is it half empty or half full? What are you putting in today that's going to generate you some extra income for you and your family to take the vacation you promised that you would take them on, and the effort you put in? Very important. Now, I'm going to face this. I understand there's 4 levels of money. 4 levels, Mr. Thomas? Yes, 4 levels. There's the level of money. Number 1 level is survival money. People at night out there doing the wrong things just to survive, put food on the table. I understand. The level 2 money is everyday money, what you got in your pockets, paying bills, and your money, the green, the credit card. Number 2. Number 3 money is where you guys at tonight. It's investment money. You're taking your money to invest in a project or an idea or a real estate or network marketing or crypto or stocks or bonds. See, you have extra money to invest. And as you invest in these things, you start learning about them because you always put your time and your energy flows where your money goes. Let me say it again. Your energy flows where your money goes. So what are you doing? What are you investing in? What projects you got outside the 401k? I think it was Warren Buffett said, I've never seen people that drive up to Wall Street, give their money over to somebody who takes a subway at night. Folks, I learned that I don't have a 401k. Wealthy people, successful people, wealthier people don't have to. No, we trust ourselves and for our own investments. But if you think it's going to be on Wall Street when you get retired 10, 20, 30 years later, guess what they're doing? It may not be there. So you trusted the wrong source. Why don't you educate yourself on how to take your own dollars and invest it? I've done pretty well. I can't complain. I mean, I'm in Florida today. Gonna go to Trump Tower tomorrow, next across the street here. And then I'm back to Vegas. Last week I was in Dallas. Then the next week I'll be in, so what am I saying? I control my life because I take control of my investments as well. So should you. And most people on the other side, what keeps them down is they always talk about one day I'm going to do, one day I'm going to do this, one day I'm going to, and a year went by, a decade went by, and they're still talking about the one day. Wow. Tell you a story. A buddy of mine, Russ Nolan, dear guy who was in my first network marketing company. Him and I reached the highest pinnacle, and then the company co-founder, my billionaire mentor, Kenny Trout, decided to select 4 of us to be on top of the whole company because we just out there doing it, blowing and going. And Russ used to have a coin had made up out of wood. And this is what it would say when people say, I'm going to get around to it. He would always pull it out and he said, you mean one of these? And he'd give it to him. So many people out there are going to get around to it, but never, ever get to it. Wow. All right, let's move on to number 5. What's number 5, Mr. Thomas? Let's focus on those people that keep them poor. They look at cost cutting, not acceleration. The opposite is cost cutting. What do you mean? They're always picking pennies. A penny saved is a penny earned. How many guys heard that? A penny saved is a penny earned. What can a penny buy today? Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Let me give you statistics. The U.S. government stopped making pennies. You know why they stopped making pennies as of this year? It cost them 2 cents to make 1 cent. Hello. Let me say it again. It costs them 2 cents to make 1 cent, which make no sense because you can't buy another Winnipeg. Think about it. I saw a lady a couple of weeks ago taking a walk somewhere, and this woman dived on a penny, almost broke her neck for a penny. Penny earned, it's a penny saved. It doesn't make sense, folks. A penny can't buy anything. Matter of fact, let's be honest, neither can a nickel, and neither can a dime. Have you seen the latest dime? They're so light, they don't even feel like they're alloys. Back in the old days, you put silver in them. And they stopped putting that. It's like in the old Roman days, they used to take off the edge of the coin because to make new coins. It's called thievery. But that's another subject for another day. So most people, because they focus on cost cutting, they always talk about cut back, cut back, cut back, cut back, cut back. Successful people, when things get tough, we add on. We add more to it. We advertise more. We step out more. We go more. Does that make sense? So one is cutting down and the other one is going up. So let's talk about that. They focus on cutting back. Rather than expanding their income and multiplying their streams of income, they cut back like today. You know, it's like a roller coaster. And the market's great. The market's great. It's like wiring a roller coaster up. You know, when you're in the front of the roller coaster, you can see, oh my God, you can see that when it's going down, like the economy's going down, but the back end of the roller coaster is still coming up. And they think things are still going great. And they're still doing the wrong thing until they see the peak of it. So my question to you is, what are you cutting back on? What are you cutting back on besides spending to invest more in? Let me tell you something. Multiple streams of income. I knew nothing about doing a channel a year ago, nothing. But I had invested in it. There again, that's the difference. We invest, they wait. I invested in it. I knew nothing about advertisement on the channel. I knew nothing about videos. I knew nothing about the time it goes into it. I knew nothing about editing. I knew nothing about uploading. I knew nothing about music on here. I knew nothing about the graphics. I knew nothing about nothing. It took time out to do interviews with people. I had to get with the guests. I had to get with Mr. Clemens. I had to get with filming. I knew nothing. But I was willing to invest in something that's going to give me long-term residual effects 5, 10, 20 years down the road. It's like building a network market business. I always remember Kenny Trout, one of my billionaire mentors. He would always look at the company. He says, hey guys, the Forbes president directors, I'm looking about doing this, running this program for 90 days. You know what I loved about him? He always looked at the downside and what the upside could be. And if he said there's more upside than downside, let's do it. But on the other side of the coin, 95% of the people always cutting back. Instead of saying, what can I do to increase my cash flow? Very powerful. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6, they don't put money away to invest each month. Man, they don't. They spend every single dime. That's why they call it paycheck to what? Paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck. You know, I've always learned, because my billionaire mentors, to live beneath what I could afford and save some money to invest. Watch this. I save at least 30%. 10% goes to my partner, the man upstairs. 10% for investments and 10% for savings. That's 30%. Most people don't even take care of their partner. So here's what they do. They go gambling, they waste time, they drink, they play video games, paycheck to paycheck, they live every day for the day. Isn't that crazy? Then on weekends, they're going to go out and party and forgot what happened Monday morning, and they go right back to the job. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but I'm saying here's what successful people do. They learn to deny themselves for later gratification. That's right, for later gratification. You know, I'll never forget my first duplex I bought. I was 18 years old. I'd saved up $3,000. And I went in Oakland and bought a duplex for, I think it was $18,000. But watch this. I'm 18 years old. Back in those days, that old FHA loans, you could assume with just $50, take over the payments, put it in your name. Nobody had to qualify. Yeah, oh yeah, those are great times. But watch this. I started when I was 18. And you know how I started? Because I read a book. And I said, that guy can do it. I can do it. So I educated myself. And then I went on to continue buying more real estate with no money down because I didn't have any money. How did you do that, Mr. Thomas? I read books. How this guy did, and I followed what I learned. Guys, all the money in the world's at your fingertips. You just got to earn it by learning it. And another thing we do, we sacrifice. We sacrifice. I haven't bought a new car. I don't know how long. I got rid of the Bentley, the Rolls Royce, Mercedes. I drive an 04 Escalade. Been paid for. Why? Because it doesn't make me any money. Why? I'm not trying to impress anybody. Why? I don't need it. Why? Why should I? When I can take that money and put it in something that's going to make me money so I can afford to travel and continue traveling. So these are the things that are very important to understand, folks. So I want to share with you. These are things that keeps poor people poor and wealthy people keep getting wealthy because they're taking their money and they are making money. So in conclusion, remember that wealthy people is wealthy and wealth is built over time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. So let's look at the law of compounding. Let's look at the number 2. Let's take 2. Times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. Times 2 is 16. Times 2 is 32. Times 2 is 64. Times 2 is 128 people. And if you add all that up, that's a lot of people as I went down 7 generations. Now watch the power one more. 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729, 2,178 people on that 7th generation by the power of one more. Compound will get you wealthy. And we're never taught that. They teach simple people simple interest, and you deserve more than that. We got a question to come through real quickly here. So let me recap real quick. Well, number 1, what keeps poor people poor? Number 1, their habits. Number 2, they don't know how to create money. Number 3, they don't understand passive income, which is a way to the wealth. And number 4, they never execute on their ideas. And a lot of you had ideas that will work, but you're scared to go forward with them. You know what? Let me tell you this. The most expensive real estate in the world was where? The graveyard. People died with ideas they never came forth with. Number 5, they focus on cost cutting rather than acceleration. Number 6, they don't put money away to invest in their future or any kind. Watch this. Let me ask you a question. If an investment came up today, 5,000, do you have the money to invest? You've worked how long? My question is, why not? What was $1,000? And that's what most people say. Oh, I don't have that kind of money to lose. Who said anything about losing it? See, that's a mindset. And I hope this call today help you break that mindset because it's a mindset. So in conclusion, remember that wealth is created and built over years and over time. And remember the compound effect. Oh, we got a question that just came in. Let me get it here. The question is, let me read it to you. What extent does culture, attitudes, or stigma about poverty influence and how the poor are treated and their ability to improve their situation? Well, first of all, like I said, it's a mindset. Let me say something to you. I don't care where you're at in life, what stage you're at in life, what age you're in life. It's all in your mind. It's a mindset. There's some people have a dark cloud over them and they can't break that curse of what had happened in the past. They keep talking about the past. They can't see the future because they're always looking backwards. Let me ask you a question. You're going down the highway, you're in a car. Why do you think the windshield is so big in the front and you got a little rear view mirror? Because they want you to see the less of the past. Some people are trying to drive down the highway and look in the rear view mirror of the past rather than look through the big windshield to see their bright future. and they hold themselves back with their mindsets. Their mindsets. See, if it's to be, it's my mindset. It's up to me. And we have isms and schisms and what happened to the past with this organization, this relationship, this race. We hold that back. It's a new day. Get past that. So that's how I would answer that. It's got nothing to do with that. It's all in the mindset. It goes back to the individual. Second question that came in is, how does technology and advancement or lack, here again, lack, notice the word, lack, lack of thinking, lack of excess, lack of access to affect opportunities for the poor to escape poverty. Here again, it's all a mindset. Lack is a mindset. Poverty, it's a mindset. Here again, it's a mindset. Let me give you an idea of mindset. I knew nothing about network marketing. Nothing. Nothing. You know what Al Thomas did? I started buying books and listening to tapes and then going to seminars. I invested in me to learn what I wanted to learn to break that mindset that I couldn't do it. And I invested in seminars. I invested in books. And then I applied, here's the key, I applied what I learned and I did very well. Let me talk about me again in a negative light. I knew nothing about real estate. But guess what? I started buying Bill Tycoon Green's book. In 1982, I went to a real estate seminar at Monterey. I started investing in me because I wanted to learn. Why we're so scared to invest in us. That's a mindset. Look, I knew nothing about Spanish a couple years ago. And I immersed myself 2 hours a day in Spanish. I'm still I watch this doing Spanish in the day and Korean at night. That's a crazy thing. Why? Because I want to know. It's your mindset. All this stuff is mindset. If you want to know bad enough, dig in, learn it. You can go on the internet and find stuff for free these days. I was talking to one of the guys coming back. We're in the lounge, Capital One Lounge, and he said, "Man, I was changing the radiator. I went online and figured out how to do it. I bought the part for $100. They want to charge me $600 to put it in, and I did it for less than $150. I went online and found out how to do it. How bad do you want it? People are just flat out, I hate to say it, lazy. There's all this information floating around today like never before. Look, let me give you another one. I knew nothing about doing podcasts. I was told by Mr. Clemens, I was told by some of you out there around the world, I was told by Ninja and some other people. But look at me, I'm learning. Instead of watching TV, because all the TV gives you is red eyeballs on a hollowed head, I spend my time learning. And the more I learn, I don't know. So a lot of this is self-inflicted on most people. If I looked at your day and looked at your 24 hours and looked at how you spend it, would Al Thomas spend it that way? Probably not. So why do we waste so much time on things that are so frivolous, that don't mean anything? What holds us back is us, it's our thinking. We hold our own self back. It's called our stinking thinking. I live a great lifestyle and I've been blessed. I mean, trust me. I get up every morning with an attitude of gratitude. 29 countries, I've had this, I had this. But I put the time in to be able to enjoy those things that I've done. And I'm grateful. First thing in the morning, I'm just telling God how grateful I am. And I'm still learning. And I'm still expanding. I'm still here and I'm still living. Then that means there's something more for me to do and to learn. So I challenge every one of you to start learning what it is you don't know. It's not what you know, it's what you don't know. And now here, a year later, 100,000, 9,000, 100,000 plus subscribers. I'm blessed. But I knew zero a year ago. I knew zero about Spanish. I knew zero about real estate after 54 properties. And about a hotel with a credit card. I knew zero about zero. But I wanted to know bad enough. So let me ask you a question. How bad do you want it? How are you spending your time, your day? Remember, we all got 24 hours. I don't care if you're a billionaire, millionaire, broke. I don't care, ghetto, high, whatever. We all have the same amount of time. What are you doing with your time? Time is something that gave us all the same amount of. How much are you wasting of it? And how much are you taking it to grow? So this channel is designed to help people grow. And that's why we put the time in it. Not just to be locally, but to be globally. To help people who want to know. And I want to bless people. Because I'm talking about 36 years of experience from a guy who's never had a job. Who's got 21 guys and girls he helped become millionaire. Not because of me, because it's the fruit that I bear. Because they listened and they implemented. The Bible says you can don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of the word. So what you get here, be doing it. Don't just listen. Oh, that was great, man. But what are you doing? Where's your fruit? Where's your outcome? Where's the manna? What am I saying? What do you have to show for it? And then we think about things that holds us back, and we tend to hold on those negative things. I'm poor. I'll never get where I'm a minority. Oh, this happened to me. My dad said this. Why hold on to that? Cut the biblical cord. Let that go. It's a new day. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where internet is, we're talking about 24 hours now. Anything you want is on there. How bad do you want to succeed? So in conclusion, what keeps the poor people poor? Let's go over it again. Number one is their habits. What kind of habits do you have? Number two, they don't know how to create money outside of a job. Number three, they don't understand passive income because, let's face it, schools and colleges never taught us, and our parents can teach us something they didn't know, so please forgive them, okay? Number four, they never execute on their ideas. I guarantee some of you got ideas out there. I had an idea for the book on the channel called God's Gift. Guess what? I executed it. Got working on another book. I can't tell you about it. Guess what? I executed on it. What about you? What could you execute on? Number five, they focus on cutting costs rather than attacking the problem heads on with doing more than what they normally do. Wow. And number six, they don't put money away to invest each month. It's very important to have a nest egg. 10% for my partner, 10% to save, and 10% to invest, and the other 70%. Yeah, you can live off that pretty well. And then keep repeating the cycle. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this blessed you tonight. If you can, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification, that way you'll be alerted next time I do another live. And also leave a comment below. Please leave a comment below. If you really got a lot out of this, go back and watch it again and again and send it out to 7 people in the next 24 hours and see a blessing come back to you. You know why? Because I know what it's going to do for you. It's going to do something greater for the people you send it to. And they'll really thank you because now you start expanding their thoughts and their horizon, what they believe and what they need to hear. Because truly, they're looking for something different today. Why is that? Because everything's going up today, but your income. Is it about time that you increase that or have other, should I say, other ways of making capital? Sure. Streams of income is what they call it. So develop several streams of income and you'll be glad you did. Hope this blessed you today. I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, no matter where you're at watching this. And like I say, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Leave a comment and also join the channel. God bless you all. Thank you so much tonight for your time. I hope this really resonated in you to make you to get in motion, to do some of the ideas you thought of. Hey, I don't care how crazy what my mother said, my father said, I'm going to go forth and do this. Where would we be today if Thomas Edison never invented lights? Because he got interviewed and one of the gentlemen interviewed him says, how does it feel to fail 1,877 ways? And Thomas Edison, you don't understand, young man, I found 1,877 ways it just did not work. And what if he stopped? We would not have the lights we have today. Folks, I'm sure you guys, each of you got an idea. Now go forth with it. God bless you. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We'll see you soon. Al Thomas over and out.